I just asked women in their 50s their advice on heartbreak, and I need you to hear this. Take care of yourself in capital letters, your dreams, your hopes, and future. We were raised in a culture where we were taught that we had to be chosen to have value, and the truth is you're already chosen by yourself. Be good to you. Time does heal. The sooner you cut ties, 100%, the sooner it happens. It's hard. So is staying where you aren't happy or valued. Don't fall in love with potential. The potential you see in others is a reflection of what you would do if you were them. There's not just one soulmate for you out there. In fact, there are many. They represent who you are at this moment, and we will not attract someone who are not capable of being with. Work on yourself to be ready for someone amazing. Don't settle for projects and potentials. Projects, right? Don't settle. Protect your heart and trust your gut. Rejection is spiritual protection and redirection. I've witnessed men move heaven and earth for a woman they love. Don't settle for less than what you deserve. That's really good. Never chase. If they don't make you feel wanted, that's enough to walk away. Heartbreak comes with so many layers and lessons. Spend the time reflecting inwards. What I think you'll learn is that you ignored warning signs. Don't do that. Trust yourself more. Trust yourself more. That's a good way to end. Don't let a man tell you more than once he doesn't want you. If you have to convince someone of the reasons to be with you, they're the wrong one.
Let me tell you about a TikTok that I saw that made me end my relationship. And I know you're probably like, girl, you're crazy. Yeah, I probably am. I came across this TikTok video where a girl was talking about how she went on a date and a guy asked her like, hey, so how many guys am I in competition with? How many guys am I competing with? And her response was, you're competing with me. You need to make my life better than I already make it. And that's a mentality that I've never had before, which is so stupid of me because I grew up in a family where like being alone is the worst thing ever. So I was taught, just choose the best man there is. Go out with a bunch of them, choose the best one. And that has not worked for me because I am constantly too focused on finding the best man to be by my side instead of me being my own best man. So because I saw that TikTok video, it's like a light switch went off in my brain and was like, he's not adding on to my life. And that right there saved me. I am going through my waves of like missing the person, but I feel so much more fulfilled right now, just fulfilling myself. So thank you to the person that made that TikTok. You have no idea what a difference you made in my life. And if you guys know who made this TikTok, please tag her in this video because I've been trying to find it and I can't.
The most powerful women out there possess this one quality: emotional intelligence. If you don't know how to control your emotions, it's going to end up ruining you. A powerful woman is not going to send that massive paragraph telling him everything that he did wrong. No, because giving him an ounce of your effort and attention and energy when he's already disrespected you, that is the last you're going to hear from us. Because when you send that massive paragraph, when he's already disrespected you and already proved to you that he doesn't care, you're just releasing your emotions onto this person, proving to him why he doesn't care to begin with. Because what you're actually telling him is that if he were to get into a relationship with you, he would be walking on eggshells the entire relationship because he's not sure what's going to have you reactive and what's not. If you're in control of your emotions, you don't let these things faze you. Yes, it might bother you a little bit, but it's how you respond that's going to make the world of difference. If they can trigger you, they can control you. Someone that's in control of their emotions usually gets what they want. They're not reacting right away to something that bothers them. They're internalizing things. They're thinking things through. They're able to self-soothe. When I hear stories about girls getting upset over like small things, he didn't want to like see you on a specific day or whatever, and then they react to those things and go off on them, absolutely killing your chances of this potentially turning into something because of how you're reacting. No one should have that much power over you to where you have to act out of character or self-destruct or act in ways that you are not proud of after the fact.
If your ex left you and never looked back, I mean never reached out, never sent a message, never checked in on you, they just left and never looked back, your road to recovery is so freaking long. The amount of time that you are going to wait, and I don't care what anybody says, in your head you're going to be waiting. Are they going to figure it out? Are they going to miss me? Are they going to contact me? Are they going to care at all about the person they walked away from? Your waiting period almost has you frozen in this grief before you can ever move yourself forward into the actual stages of the grieving process. The first one you're in is that disbelief and kind of denial. Not that you don't know what's happening. You're right there. You know it's happening, but you can't believe that someone could actually do this. You have to create a story in your own head. You have to create the narrative that this person is not going to give you, because the first thing you're going to do is tell yourself you didn't matter, you weren't worth it, this person didn't care at all about you. You're going to center that story on you and your fearful thoughts and beliefs. You have to turn that all the way around and start saying, for whatever reason, that person needed something else in their life at the moment. The way they are coping with the breakup is not ever looking back, not even giving an apology, not checking in on you. They had to put up that wall, close it up, and move themselves far away from your relationship. So you have to say it has much more to do with them and who they are than it does with who you are and who you were in that relationship. So work hard on challenging all your fearful thoughts, all the things you're telling yourself about how little you actually meant. You are a beautiful, amazing human being, and for whatever reason, that person just needed something else, and the only way they knew how to push themselves forward was to cut off that part of their life. And I'm so sorry if you're going through that, because it absolutely sucks. It is one of the worst things people can go through. We feel non-existent and so sad and lonely. My heart is with you, but start creating the story that you need to create, putting it on them and not at all on you.
Why would a civilization create an underground city? In 1963, a Turkish homeowner accidentally discovered Derinkuyu, an 8th century BC underground city designed to support thousands. This subterranean marvel boasted advanced ventilation systems, schools, and wineries, strategically hidden beneath the Earth's surface. They managed water through deep wells. Security was paramount. Massive stone doors could seal the city from invaders. The city's design reflects a sophisticated society capable of organizing a complex community life, including healthcare. Historical records suggest that Derinkuyu had areas dedicated to medical care, indicating the presence of physicians and healers within its walls. Yet questions linger, such as why its inhabitants abandoned this underground haven. Some theories propose environmental changes, security threats, or the integration of these communities into surface societies as potential reasons. This still leaves us to wonder.
Want to talk about why you didn't get me anything for Valentine's Day?
No, I don't.
There's a flower shop on the corner of your job. You couldn't walk there on your lunch break? My fiance hates me. How many Valentines is this now? No flowers, no card, nothing. How many? One time when we were getting back together, you got me flowers one time. But after that, no flowers. Ever since we had kids, no flowers, no nothing.
The reason why he didn't do any of those things for you for Valentine's Day is because he doesn't have to. He was able to be with you for 7 years while not meeting those expectations for you. He has conditioned you to accept less. You're going to marry this man knowing that he doesn't meet your needs, that he doesn't prioritize your happiness. Now, some men are going to say this is just some money grab from the candy companies and the flower companies and all of that. But why does it even matter? It's all about the effort. Yes, the flower shop was right near his job. He doesn't care if they were handing out flowers for free. He doesn't think you're worth that kind of effort. So you're making these videos and showing us, this man doesn't, you said in the video, my fiance doesn't even like me. That man didn't even say, that's not true. Why would you say that? He didn't even argue with you. He doesn't have to keep you, and that's why he'll never do it.
Okay, I want to see you succeed so bad, so here's what you're doing wrong on TikTok. I'm a full-time social media manager. I've helped multiple brands blow up and had multiple videos of my own reach millions of people. The first thing you're doing wrong is you are making your video about yourself. Notice how at the start of this video, I didn't say, here's what I'm doing and here's my strategy for 2024. I made it about you, the viewer. Same thing goes for you. You need to make your audience the main character of the story. I am not lying when I say that every single one of my videos that have gone viral have this strategy. Second thing you're doing wrong is you are not engaging all of the senses. Your words are not enough anymore. You need to be engaging every sense that you can. This might look like just stirring your iced coffee to get that audio in there, or moving your camera around at the beginning to make it a little bit all over the place. And the last thing you're doing wrong is not talking to your audience. I love your day in the life videos, I really do, but if your audience doesn't feel like they know you, they're not gonna care. You need to talk, share your hot takes, your opinions, your intrusive thoughts, anything that will let your audience get to know you. And I know you hate to hear it, but post a talking video at least once a day. Try these out and you will be golden in 2024.
If you are going to sustain an outrageous glow up that slaps everybody from your past in the face, you need 3 things. 1 is excellent emotional regulation skills. 2 is healthy coping mechanisms. And 3 is self-discipline in every sense of the word. And over the next few weeks, we're going to break that down, so you're going to want to follow.
Always be nice when he reaches out, even if you haven't heard from him for a while. Don't be
This is the exact type of dating advice that's going to keep you single for a lot longer than you'd like to be. I am so fucking tired of teaching women how to be a good girl in dating. No, don't say anything. Don't be passive aggressive to this person, even though you haven't heard from them in a while and they haven't texted you. Don't you dare show an emotion, because you need to be a good girl. You don't want him to think that you're anything. And God forbid you set a boundary or have anything to say. Don't you open your mouth, because if you annoy him, then you're the problem. This is the same antiquated nonsense that we were taught as kids, which has now affected our adult dating and life relationships. Be a good girl. Don't rock the boat. Don't upset him, because then you are the problem. Instead, we need to fucking empower ourselves and stop listening to clickbait bullshit like this that's just going to keep you single or in a relationship that's not healthy for you. Because if you don't find your voice, and if you don't say something and step up, if you don't stand for something, you fall for everything. And it doesn't mean that you need to be passive aggressive about it. You could be very direct and very kind to somebody while also setting a boundary and letting them know that something doesn't fucking work for you. So instead of trying to be a good girl, why don't you just speak authentically from a place of compassion and empowerment, because you know who the fuck you are. Not you trying to pretend to be somebody so that you don't rock the boat with somebody else because you want them to perceive you as good.
Sticking to just one person when you're young in your 20s is the best decision that you will ever make in the long run. It's the best investment that you can ever make in your entire life. As a matter of fact, there are so many stats and scientific studies out there showing that most of your happiness in your life is derived from your future spouse. One of the biggest mistakes and mindsets that you can have is thinking that, oh, I'll just have fun for the entire decade of my 20s. I'll wait until I'm 35 and super rich, and then I will go out and find my partner. To me, if you wait that long and you wait to get rich and have your career figured out, you're not going to attract the right kind of people into your life. You want to stay with your day one. You want to work through those problems with your day one. To me, when you wait so long, when you wait for a specific age, when you feel like everything is right, that relationship is going to be incredibly transactional and surface level, versus growing and building with one person throughout your 20s. You're going to have all of those amazing shared experiences together. You're going to know how to forgive. You're going to know how to work through hard times. And that's something that you won't get by just waiting until you're rich and then settling down. It's not going to happen, and you're not going to be as fulfilled as building and growing with one person. So we need to bring this concept back for sure.
I want to know what your number one reason is for not having kids.
Because I love my kids so much that I would never bring them here. No, babies, you stay up there. Mommy will be home soon. I wouldn't bring them to the...
If you're in your late 20s, early 30s, what do you do for work? I'm 28 years old. I have a degree. I'm not doing anything with that degree currently. I have experience in so many different things, but for some reason, when I think about going back into the workforce, I'm currently unemployed, just moved back to the States, I get so overwhelmed. I don't want to climb the corporate ladder. I don't want to go back into retail management. I don't want to go into healthcare. Like, I want to just rescue dogs and live on a farm. You are in your late 20s, early 30s, what do you do for work? I don't even need to make a ton of money. I just want to live comfortably and be happy and have the time to pursue my hobbies and my passions outside of work. And it just feels like that almost isn't possible in the corporate America that we live in. What do you do for work? Because I feel like there's gotta be jobs that I'm just not thinking of. So please tell me, stitch this or put it in the comments. Let's all help each other out, because I know I am not alone in this feeling.
Hi, I'm Lindsay, oncology nurse, and I'm really sick and tired of people getting cancer that shouldn't be getting cancer. In lieu of that, I'm gonna give you some tips on how to avoid getting cancer. Fix your anemia. Your body fights off tiny little cancer cells all day long, every day. It can't do that without enough gas in the tank. Fix your anemia. Get the infusions, take the pills, do whatever you gotta do. Just fix the anemia. The second one, take your vitamins. twice a day in half doses. Your body can only absorb so much at one time. You can pop like 10 vitamins at one time. Hardly any of them are going to get absorbed. But if you take them twice a day in half doses, there's a way better chance that those vitamins are going to get absorbed. Speaking of vitamins, most of your vitamins should come from food. And that food should look like it could actually grow in nature. I personally have never seen an apple the size of a softball, just perfect and shiny and juicy and red on a tree, and just like a natural orchard. No, they're very small, and that's the way that they're supposed to be before we were injected them with all these things. So your food should look like it was meant to look like, you know? A way that I have found to do that for my family, obviously do whatever you want or can for your family. We shop at Aldi. They're a German grocery store. They have a lot more stricter rules about their food and what can go in and on it. And I feel like I don't have to worry so much as a mom if that gets taken off my plate. Like, if I can just not worry about that for a minute, that's good for me. Your mental health is also very important. Get your screening exams, get your mammos, get your colonoscopies. They're horrible, I know, but it's a lot less horrible than having cancer. Check your boobs. Have your husband check your boobs. Somebody should be checking your boobs once a month. If it doesn't feel right, just go get it checked. If you don't have health insurance, find a good alternative. Like, there's several places in where I live that will do reduced cost screening exams and things like that. Aside from that, I understand it's a huge mountain of things to undertake to try to keep yourself and your family away from all the stuff, all the environmental factors that we are exposed to in this country. But just do the best that you can. And as long as you're being intentional about it, I think it'll be okay. Come back tomorrow for more tips. Love you.
I'm doing a 2-week journey back to beautiful.
Has it already been 2 weeks? Huh.
You know what men love? You know what a dream girl looks like for a man? And even though some may disagree in the comments, deep down they know it's true. And that is, they love a woman that is self-focused. That when she wakes up in the morning, the first thing she thinks about is herself. When she goes to sleep, last thing she thinks about is herself. One thing she would never do is put that man up on a pedestal and think that he is better than her. She would simply not allow that. And that is what makes them chase her even more. And this is honestly the most healthy relationship dynamic, because every single relationship that I've seen where people are married for years and years, if you look at the relationship dynamic, the man is just obsessed with his wife in a good way. And his wife, most likely, she values the fuck out of herself. She sees herself as a very high value woman. And I'm not saying that she treats her husband bad. Obviously, she still treats her husband great. But she has this aura to her that he just can't get enough of. Like, they're married for so long, but the relationship is so healthy because of this relationship dynamic. And this is divine feminine and masculine energy we are talking about here. So if you're caught up on this guy that doesn't like you, that's not responding to you, he will not obsess over you until you start obsessing over yourself. You make the shift, like, you will probably get a text from them tonight. Start doing things that you enjoy and that you can just sit and be focused on yourself, and trust me, that is how you attract. You have them wrapped around your finger.
Women, please, please, please listen to Shira 7 and older women. We are all waking up to the games that men play on us. We're waking up in massive numbers right now, whether you're married or dating. If you listen to older women and Shira 7,
we will tell you the truth. We will tell you what's really going on so that you're not delusional, so that you don't get taken advantage of, and so that if anything does happen, you're not left in a worse position than you started. You have to realize something, that men are programmed to want access to a woman's body, and that's mostly what they're after. This game of love that we're calling love between men and women is just romance. It's just desire. It's just sexual. Now, we've misconstrued it with love, with fairy tale, with Cinderella, with holding my hand, with the end all be all, the greatest accomplishment ever. No, it's just sexual attraction. It's just sexual desire. So please don't throw your whole life away for nonsense fairy tales when it's just an activity that men want to do with you. And men want to do that, and they'll waste a lot of your time to make sure that they get that, because they get a lot of enjoyment out of it. And oddly enough, we don't most of the time. So make sure that they're investing in you, literally putting cash in your hands, literally paying your bills before you ever sleep with them, because guess what? If they leave, if they were lying, then you didn't get the raw end of the deal. And make sure you wait a while to do that, because you need to make sure that they're telling the truth. You need to make sure that their actions align with what they're saying. You need to get to know somebody, and you need to make sure that they're serious about you, because if something happens and you get pregnant, you're screwed. Especially with a man who can't even provide for himself. You need to make sure that he can provide for himself and for you. Now, that doesn't mean that you should rely on a man for money, ever, ever. That's what our mothers had to do because they weren't allowed to get bank accounts, but not anymore. We're playing the game smarter. We have our own money. We have our own businesses. And then we have men for fun on the side that have invested in us, that are not game players. Now, there are good men who hear this message and they understand, they get it. That smart women like me, we're not playing with little boys. We're not playing with boys who can't pay their bills, and we're not playing around with little boys who don't seriously invest in us. And investing means taking action. And it's not hard for real men to pay some bills. These men are making 200 grand plus. They have enough money to pay your bills and theirs. And if they don't, find another one. They should be worried about making money, not trying to get laid. And if you can't find one, or there's too many of them screwing you around, guess what? Work on your money. Your time is better spent working on your money than holding some broke man's hand. That's a waste of time. That's a waste of an afternoon. That's a waste of time. You want to go flirt and have fun? Go out to the clubs, go out to the bar, flirt and have fun. Bye-bye. But don't be texting every day. Don't be calling every day. Don't be going on dates. They will waste your life. And then on top of it, try to get you to marry them so that you can be their housekeeper, their cook. Talk about a scam. Please listen to Shira 7 and older women like me. It's a little bit complicated, the games that they've ran on us, and you need to see clearly. You need to readjust your neurons and your synapses so that you can stop seeing the delusions. Some of us had to learn the hard way, and we don't want you to have to do that as well.
Sometimes I wonder why these things are not front page news. This is hibiscus tea. I put it in a tea bag and I put it in hot water, and bada bing, you've got a natural remedy that can help to lower blood pressure. This is scientifically known to lower blood pressure. It also is very helpful for promoting weight loss. This can increase the level of HDL cholesterol and lower the LDL cholesterol. So if you know cholesterol, HDL is good. This tea may also help to boost your liver health. Your liver is so important. Your liver has several functions, and the functions are to produce protein, to secrete bile, and to break down fats. Hibiscus can help with steatosis. Steatosis is an accumulation of fat in your liver. Buildup of fat in your liver can lead to kidney failure. Hibiscus is high in polyphenols. Polyphenols are shown to possess anti-cancer properties. And hibiscus can help to reduce the amount of bacteria in the body. So it's really good for immune support, and also if you're sick, it can help to fight off certain infections. Hibiscus can also help with reducing fat cells in the body, so it can help with weight loss. You go to a health food store, they may have it loose leaf, and you could just put it in a bag like this and buy your own tea bag. So good, so cheap, so easy, so natural, and I love it, and I hope y'all love it too.
Women are literally driving the human race towards extinction at the moment in the biggest case of fuck around and find out the world has ever seen, by refusing to have kids because they don't like the way men treat women and they don't like the way that society treats mothers. And so they're like, you know what, instead of having kids and continuing the human race, let's just go extinct. Like, let's just all go extinct. And this isn't only happening in South Korea. I don't know if you saw that report a few weeks ago that said that for the 4th year in a row, the birth rate there was dangerously low compared to the death rate. And if that continues, you end up with loads of old people and not enough young people to support them and support the economy. And then you have fewer women in each generation and fewer of them are having kids, and then eventually you go extinct. And when they're asking women in South Korea, why are you doing this? In part they're saying they don't like men. They don't like the way that men treat them. And they're like, why would I have a kid with this idiot? Like, why would I breed from this idiot? Why would I pass this idiot's DNA on? I don't care if you say that we're going to go extinct. Like, I don't care if my uterus is all that stands between, like, us and extinction. I'm not doing it. It's not worth it for me. So I'm not going to do it. And this is happening everywhere. Like, they reckon that by the year 2050, 75% of nations will be in the same situation, and by 2100, the year 2100, it'll be 97% of nations, because women are refusing to have kids because we're sick of this crap. Like, in my country at the moment, in Britain, the average birth rate is 1.5 children per woman, and it needs to be 2.1, and it's set to plummet to 1.3, and the same thing is going to happen in the US, because women just don't want to have any kids. And I can see why. It's because forever we have been told that all we're good for is having children, but also that that's not really that important, because it still doesn't make us the default gender. It still doesn't make us the important gender. It's men who get to earn all the money and have all the fun. They're the ones who get to keep all of their leisure time. They're the ones who get to own most of the world's land and speak most of the world's words. Because we're just women and mothers, and that's not that important. And so why would we do it? Like, why would we do it? What's the incentive here? Because women actually know that having children takes a massive toll on our physical health and our mental health, and that we're then expected to live our lives in servitude to these children, to these future worker bees, so that they can take care of the aging population. And our entire lives will be changed by having a child. But we're also constantly told that that's not that important, but that's all we are, but that's not important. And so we're looking at the situation and we're like, why would I do this? I'd rather put a backpack on and go traveling. I don't care if we go extinct. Like why would I do this? Where's the incentive? There isn't one. We're not even appreciated for doing it. Like, we're actually, like, brought down for doing it. Why would we do it? Why not instead just go out there and explore this world and live our lives? And that's what more and more women are doing. They're making the decision to do that instead. So here's the thing. If you don't want to go extinct, you better beg us to start having kids, and you better make it worth our while. Like, that's the only solution here. That's the only way that we get out of this mess. Women need to be recognised for their importance, not just in terms of having children, but everything glorious that they bring to this world. Because we've been told for all this time that, like, it's not us, it's not you, you're not the important ones. Like, you guys aren't the key workers here. And now actually we're seeing that we are the key workers, and actually we are vitally important for the continuation of the human race. And before anybody jumps up in here and is like, well, then you guys are selfish. Why don't you just take one for the team and sacrifice your physical and mental health to have children? Like, what, they just do that. The human race depends on it. This isn't our fault. It's yours. It's society's fault, and society has been run by men for all these years, and you have left us feeling underappreciated and unvalued for everything that we have to offer, including having children and raising them and raising the next generation. And we just don't want to do it anymore. And we're not gonna. Fuck around and find out.
22 things I wish I knew at 22 instead of 32. Number 1, being a college graduate isn't old. AT is old. You have a whole life ahead of you. The Elle Woods method of getting over a breakup, that works. FYI, a good haircut can change everything. Hair theory is real. And by the way, so is eyebrow theory. So number 4, never over tweeze or over pluck. Shave it so it can grow back if you change your mind. I personally learned this the hard way. Don't wait for things to get worse before you actually do anything to make it better. This applies to friendships, health, work, etc., etc. Someone else knowing exactly what is on your mind, it's a myth. Learn how to communicate. I am begging you to wear sunscreen. Also, prioritize grooming before even going crazy on makeup. I think that it's honestly fine to do the bare minimum at something that you hate and are terrible at, like math, and just save your energy for what you love. That said, don't fall into the trap of doing what you love and you'll never work a day in your life, because the truth is you will work even harder. Iron your freaking clothes, please. Once you discover working out, remember that rest and nutrition is part of it. It's completely fine to be alone on Valentine's Day, like it's no big deal. You're fine, trust me. That said, these are the years you begin to discover the joy of your own company. Enjoy it, revel in it, completely immerse in the vibes. I know that when you break up with somebody when you're young, you always want to say, oh, I'll always have love for you. But honestly, many years later, you're not gonna give a fuck. And isn't that so comforting to think about? This is also probably the time where you start working or joining the workforce. Remember that nothing is ever that urgent, unless it's life or death or family or both. When you approach anything with a mindset of, I can't do it, you really won't be able to. That said, it's okay to say no to things that you feel like you're only gonna do half-heartedly. Okay, nobody really talks about this one, but take care of your feet. Wear quality shoes. Trust me, I know it might seem random at this point, but I did not, and it's biting me in the ass 10 years later. Life is simply too short and you are too young to let the fear of being uncool or being cringe stop you from living. And anyway, your 20s is the best time to be cringe, so you might as well enjoy it. That's all. Bye.